Oh, shit. What up, Ehsan?
Man, good to be back.
Yo, we back. We back. What's up, fam? You watched some Paul Blart?
Man, you were right, man. It was delightful.
It's a delightful movie.
It really was, man. I like being put in that space after a movie of just happy, you know? Nothing happened, nothing political, nothing about the world. It was just a guy on a Segway who did funny stuff with his body.
A guy on a Segway fucking kicking ass.
Right?
Taking names.
Defeating the world's worst robbers.
The world's worst parkour robbers in the history of robbery.
Just with a terrible plan to rob an entire mall with 5 people.
I don't know what their plan was. Man.
With no muscle. They're all like these hipster parkour people.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's none of them look like none of their faces are covered.
None of their faces were covered. None of them could act.
No.
I don't understand what movies do. They're like, hey, let's get some really good actors and then stop and get bad actors for the rest of the movie.
I mean, the villain was so bad.
It's cringeworthy.
He's so bad because you know how, well, I don't know anything about acting, but it's from what I heard, it's like all about the choices you make. You know,
yes.
like what your character does or what emotional state you choose to play a certain role. And he made 0 choices. He was just there.
Yeah.
We talked about this. I think because this actor was too old.
He was old.
He was too old. He was supposed to be like uninterested, like not caring at first, and then like this evil mastermind. They should have got someone younger. And I think 2009, perfect time. I think Michael B. Jordan would have been a great villain for this.
Just a black guy
and young,
playing a goofy, funny guy.
Young, he could play the uninterested really well. I think he could play the uninterested part really well. And then when he turns evil,
the evil villain.
It's funny.
It would have been cool. That would have been really something. But he's also black, so relax. You need to calm down.
I know. There was actually a black person in this movie. There was the first villain. The villain that he falls on is a black girl.
She's not black.
Is she not black?
She's
I
like
thought she was
Mexicanish.
black. I mean,
mixed-ish.
All right, so far 2 movies, 0 black people.
Yeah,
that's insane.
It's gonna change today, baby.
Oh man.
But what else did you think of Paul Blart?
Okay. My favorite like gag. The thing that made me laugh the hardest. It didn't come up during the breakdown you gave me. Was so Kevin James is trying to jump from the car he's in the car with a SWAT guy. He's trying to jump from the car, the minivan.
Yeah.
The minivan. And he misses completely. Yeah. And then he does this really athletic roll, and he runs to the airport.
Yeah.
He like beats him out, and then he hops over the fence. And one jump, so he's just done a bunch of athletic shit in a row, and he's running through the tarmac, and there's this beautiful wide shot, and then he's running, and then he just falls.
Yo, he falls so fucking hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, dog, it's so funny how hard.
It's completely unexpected.
Falls.
It's completely unexpected.
He hops the fence, and he does the fat man. He does the thing where you hit the fence with your hands. Whew, feet clear it in one hop.
Yeah.
And then he's like sprinting, and then just falls.
Trying to save his daughter and the love of his life.
And this nigga just falls down.
He just falls on his face.
So
it just goes, ow. In a very almost like Indiana Jones-esque shot of like when Indy's like running through.
That's what it was supposed to be. Yeah.
It was great.
Anything else that I missed?
That I thought, let's see. The other part I had the problem with that I had in the film.
In Paul Blart Mall Cop?
In Paul Blart Mall Cop, the film.
Just so everybody knows. We know what we're critiquing.
Yeah.
It was a delightful film.
It was a great. It's something you definitely show to your kids, 100%.
Right. Definitely something you show to your kids.
That, Night of the Museum, it's in the same zone for me.
Elf.
Which I've never seen.
We'll get there. We'll go there one day. What were you about to say, though?
But, okay. So his boss ends up shooting the SWAT guy.
Yes,
which made
man.
0 sense.
No, how does he even get the gun? I don't understand.
Well, what's so funny is that in like comedy movies like this, is you always are like, well, the writing doesn't matter because it's a comedy movie, so you give them a lot of leeway.
Yeah.
Like in Hangover, they're fucking riding with a tiger. Whatever, it's a comedy movie, it makes sense. And even in that world, that shooting was very unrealistic.
I don't know how this old man
grabbed the cop's gun, shot a
SWAT Captain. In the hands. Not even in the hand.
Yeah.
In the gun. He shot the gun out of his hand. He didn't hit his hand. He just shot the gun. Perfect shot.
Perfect shot. And his hands are all shaky.
And then, they cut to him and he's shaking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that whole part was like, oh, come on, Paul. You could have given us something a little more whimsical. Yeah.
Well, come on, man. They had to write all the other scenes.
What you didn't bring up was in the rundown, you sort of brushed that guy off to the side, and you just told me, oh, yeah, it's his boss guy that shoots him or whatever. But that guy has a lot of funny scenes when he's trying to come up with good one-liners.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
the whole movie, he's trying to come up with the one-liners.
Good one-liners to get. It was very silly. I very much enjoyed it. My favorite line, though, by far, that you didn't mention, was, do you remember the daughter's last lines in the film?
What was it?
Okay, so the daughter...
the daughter who brought up the immigration policy.
Yeah, the daughter.
So there's a little political.
Yeah, okay, I forgot. The wife is like an illegal immigrant
who's an asshole.
Who's an asshole. Is also not attractive in the slightest. The complete opposite from not Anna Faris. The complete opposite from Jayma Mays. That's her name.
Yes, not Anna Faris. Oh
yeah. Yeah. She's just this disgusting lady, and so the daughter. The daughter is after everything's done at the end of the movie, and the daughter's talking to Kevin, and Kevin's looking at not Anna Faris, right? And he's like clearly still, he's like just so head over heels in love with her. And the daughter looks at him and goes, "Well, Dad, she's not an illegal immigrant."
That's one of the last lines of the movie?
Yeah, that's the daughter's last line. And he's like, and Kevin James walks up with the confidence of, "You're right, she's not an illegal immigrant." And they start talking.
My God. You're goddamn right, sweetheart. This one ain't from Mexico. Oh, man. That was a good movie.
Good movie. I recommend it.
Yep.
I definitely recommend it. I'm glad I watched it.
Good. Yeah, man. And, after all the things you hear,
now
you know. Now you can tell the truth.
About Paul
Blart. Yeah.
Oh, it was also cool that, we know a guy who was in the movie.
Steve Ranazizi, shout out. You killed it.
Yeah, and talking to him about it was real cool.
Yo, yeah. Oh, yeah. Recently, working here at the Comedy Store, parked Mr. Steve Ranazizi's car. He's here all the time, performs all the time. And I just asked him. I said, dude, me and Ehsan doing a podcast. We just rewatched Paul Blart. You fucking killed it.
He's very funny.
And the Camry line where the famous line where Steve Ranazizi goes, "I drive a Camry, so eat me," was riffed, guys. That was not written in the classic Paul Blart.
And now you know some Paul Blart lore.
Yeah, now you know if any real diehard Paul Blart fans out there.
If there's any Blarters out
there. That line was rated second most classic line after you looking at me. That one, it's one of the most quoted lines.
Yeah, it's up there. It's up there with Luke, I am your father.
Yeah, so shout out to Steve and all you people who want to know the inside scoop on Paul Blart.
Yeah, that's.
But yeah, man, fucking great movie. I'm glad.
He told me that his kids' friends recognize him from the movie.
Yes.
And he never showed his kids the movie until he started getting recognized.
Yes.
And now it's one of their favorite movies. That's.
I forgot he told me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's it called? That's how if I would describe Paul Blart to people who how would you describe it? It's a movie you'd want your dad to be in.
That's great. And we back. What up, Baba?
Oh man, I'm glad to be here.
Baba.
What's up, Deric?
I'm feeling pretty good, buddy.
Are you? Your face don't look it.
I watched one of the most traumatizing movies for the millionth time today. Again this morning.
Charlotte's Web.
Nah. It's fucking no. Boys in the Hood. Charlotte's Web's a little worse. Thank you for not making me watch that again.
Man, it's so sad when that spider dies.
Oh, come on, man. Spoiler alert, everybody. Sorry.
In case you don't remember Charlotte's Web from 3rd grade.
Yeah, ruined it for you. Yeah, man. I was dreading. I love Boys in the Hood. Okay. That's the movie we're doing this week. I love
our first movie with black people in it.
Yeah, our first fucked up. Our first movie with black people in it. I hate that even as fucking diverse as this podcast is with a mixed person and a brown person, it took us 2 movies to get to one black person.
I got 2 Indian people last movie. I actually got, you know what I mean?
You got Pahood.
I got
Paul
Pahood.
Blart. But In Boys in the Hood, man, we got some brothers. We got every famous black person ever.
Really,
they're
it's
all
like
starting
that.
their career. It's very much like a Freaks and Geeks for niggas.
Okay.
You know, just every black person. Star-studded cast. I love the cast. Love the director, John Singleton. Killed it. It's just. But I was dreading watching this movie just because I have to. I watch the movies in the morning before we do the podcast, and man, it's just a lot. It's a lot to get up at 10 a.m. and just deal with every black issue from the 90s that's still going on today.
So, okay.
It's a lot. You know? It was like waking up and reading all of every black person's Facebook post. That's what it felt like doing.
Oh, really?
Morning. Yeah.
Oh, God. That's terrible.
It was just a lot, man. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's a beautiful movie. I mean, oh, my God. It just makes you think. It's one of those. I mean, me and my girl just bawling, crying. I'm so mad at you. I had to watch this movie again. I've seen it a million times. I know
you got angry at me. You came out
of
the room of my room. You were watching in my room, and then you yelled at me for making you watch this.
Because I was like, man, I know they killing us, and they not letting us. We will overcome. You know, that's how I feel,
you were playing All Right pretty loud after that. You just playing just on repeat. I remember that.
Yo, man, you lift every voice. You know, we out here, baby. Trying to get black people. We're better. No, it was a beautiful film, and it's a beautiful and that's the thing about it. Like, fuck. Also, before we even talk about the movie,
right?
Fuck the bullshit that people say. It's not a beautiful black film or anything like that. This is a beautiful film.
Yeah.
Period. This is one of the best movies ever made, I think. It's just, it tells, obviously, the black story.
Right, so it's sort of unfair. It's just like lumped into it's a black movie.
It gets lumped into the black movie. Dude,
yeah.
Ice Cube, you've seen Ice Cube's acting.
Yes.
You've seen Ice Cube act?
I'm pretty sure. I might not have, actually.
21, 22 Jump Street.
Yes, sorry, I have seen that.
Ride-alongs. I mean, he does the same guy. It's the same character. You can imagine the character Ice Cube does, is what I'm saying.
Right. So very calm, cool, collected.
Calm, cool, collected
Suave,
black guy, and he's always angry, right?
Yeah.
In this movie, he's fucking acting. He's a kid. He's NWA Ice Cube. So we're talking, this movie came out early 90s. So this is right around that era of time.
His peak of fame. No, the start of his fame.
I mean, not the peak of his. Yeah, but that's how famous he was. He's already that famous, and then now he's in a huge hit movie, blockbuster film. You know what I mean? And he still got he still had the curls.
Okay.
So that's the Jerry curl.
And he's skinny.
Well, I mean, he's never was skinny.
He
He's
never
always
was
kind
skinny?
of a big guy. He looks like his son. You know how his son looked in the movie, Straight Outta Compton? He looks exactly like that.
Okay.
You know, except before the Friday era where he cuts his head and all that shit. You know, he's bald.
Right.
This is young ass 1991 Ice Cube, dog. We talking young or whatever this movie came out. You know, early 90s. Oscar worthy performance.
Oh, that good.
Oscar worthy performance from Ice Cube. I mean, it's an Oscar nominated film. I think for writing and directing. And then picture maybe. I'm not sure. I don't remember. It was it's like a couple Oscars. But yeah, it was just a great. It's a classic movie. Fuck the black title. It's a classic movie, but it does deal with some shit.
Right.
Some black issues. Are you ready to talk about them?
All right. Well,
hold on. Yeah. Look, okay, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Ehsan, what do you think Boyz in the Hood is about? Ehsan has never seen the movie. If you're new to the podcast.
Okay.
What do you think Boyz in the Hood's about, Baba?
So I have seen Menace to Society.
Okay.
So that's the world of reference that I'm using, which may be right or may be racist. We'll find out. All right. So I remember I look up the movie posters before. I look up just a little bit of the movie posters just to see what the main character looks like, so I can build. So there's 3 characters, I think, on the poster I saw.
So you're going straight off poster with this. You have no idea what this movie's about.
Zero clue.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have your main character. He is he's got the skill set to get out of the hood. He's I don't think he's good at football. It's not like that. He's probably he's a smart kid, right? But he has a character flaw. He either likes violence a lot, sort of like the guy from Goodfellas who dreamed of always being a gangster, like that, or he's so smart that he can fully see the bleakness of a situation and then lashes out in a destructive manner, like Matilda.
Ehsan, did you just compare Boyz in the Hood to Matilda?
So he's either.
I want it on record that Ehsan Ahmad compared Boyz in the Hood to the movie Matilda. Okay, keep going.
Right, so it's one of the 2 types. All right, and then he has 2 friends, his 2 main character friends. So the main character has one foot in the gangs, one foot out. There's still a chance for him. His two friends are both fully in the world. He's got like his sort of angel friend, like the angel on the shoulder friend, who's like a cool dude, but he's like Ben Affleck in Good Will Hunting, where he's like, hey man, this is my life, but I'm gonna be mad if you're still in here, type thing. And then he has like his like what I call the devil friend, the guy who's like, who sort of like the character traits that flourish under like systematic oppression. He's like violent, he's erratic, he's sort of, you don't know where his head's at. He's the type of person that system creates, and then the example they use to keep him down.
So we're talking about the O-Dog character.
Yes, O-Dog.
Society.
Yeah, like that. So
that's one of the friends.
Yeah. All right. So there's probably a scene somewhere in a Korean supermarket.
Now you're being racist. Now you're just being 1,000% racist. Am
I being 1,000% racist?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna stick with it. Where it doesn't go well. I don't really, they get involved. My idea is they get involved in moving drugs somehow. Like the main character is the driver. He's kind of, like I said, kind of in, kind of out, kind of knows what's going on, kind of doesn't.
Yeah.
His good friend dies in the shootout of some kind, like the angel friend, the one who's telling him to get out. And then the devil friend gets killed by a cop of some kind, maybe like a rookie cop who's like idealistic and wants to make changes, but eventually just falls into place.
Wow, I like how you're like, so in your head, because I'm sorry to interrupt, but
right.
if I may,
right?
I can tell you're going with, because you're going off of movies you've seen. You're like, all right.
Oh, that one was Crash.
Yeah, I can tell. I know. I've seen it.
Yeah,
I'm seeing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it's so funny that you do just keep going. Go ahead and finish.
Right. The main character gets like some kind of scholarship chance or some shit to get him out, to go to some kind of college. But his character flaw, whatever it is, whether he's the Goodfellas guy or Matilda, and racism, hold him back. Both of those things together hold him back. And then in the shootout that kills his good friend, he gets shot in the leg, and now he walks with a limp. To remind him how the system has literally and figuratively taken his legs from under him. And that, my friends, is Boys in the Hood. I don't think we had to do this podcast, right? I nailed it.
I think you nailed it, buddy.
I think I nailed it, yeah.
I think you absolutely motherfucking nailed it.
What's so great is my predictive powers on this. We don't have to do it.
Yo, you know what's funny? Because the first two movies, you were pretty right. Titanic, you're pretty right.
Right.
Because, it's fucking Titanic. You already kind of know what's going on. Paul Blart, you can guess, nigga. It's a comedy. It's about a security cop. You can kind of piece together maybe what happens.
Right.
With this one, even with the title Boys in the Hood and the poster, they don't really let you know anything.
Okay, so I was like way off.
Oh, you weren't even. You can't to say you were off with to include that you were kind of like even in the world of what the. You know what I mean? Like that's why I was like, I'm just gonna let it fit. But this is what my point was: is that it was nice because I kept telling you how the movie's heavy.
Right.
It's one of the most heavy movies. The thing about Boys in the Hood, it's heavy. It's not, the movie's great and it's not too long. It's about a 2-hour movie and it's kind of long, but and the acting is phenomenal and all that other thing. And not a lot kind of happens.
Right. Okay. It's one of those.
Fucking heavy.
That's like a dying star.
Yes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The movie is heavy the whole way through. But yeah, to say you're wrong would be to even kind of conclude that you were even saying anything about Boys in the Hood. You were saying nothing. You were talking about Menace to Society and Crash.
Yeah.
2 great films.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what
you were like, I'm just going to throw these 2 movies together.
Might as well. This is what I know. I can't just make up a storyline. I don't know.
I was like, I wonder if he's going to make up a storyline, if he's going to, but I like how you threw in heavy moments because you're like, Deric kept mentioning it was heavy. So maybe there's a leg reference.
Yeah.
the leg.
Well, the leg thing is, there is a Ron Taylor, comedian, door guy at the Comedy Store, has a joke. I forgot what movie about how some guy ends up in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And it's not Boys in the Hood, but I was like, I'll just take that, put it in Boys in the Hood.
Oh fuck, man. Well, do you want to?
All right.
You want to hear about the old Boys in the Hood?
Let's
delve. John Singleton.
Let's delve into this.
So, Boys in the Hood, South Central Los Angeles, early 1990s.
I figured.
That's where this movie takes place.
Before or after Rodney King? Does that play a part?
That does not play a part.
Okay.
I'm gonna say before.
Okay.
Before. I'm pretty sure before. Shit, maybe after, but I want to say before. Around that is in this era of time where shit's popping off. Looks just like today, also, which is what's scary about the whole movie. So the movie Boys in the Hood starts, right. First thing it quotes is like you hear like black people kind of arguing in the background, and then a quote comes up and it says 1 out of every 21 black males will be murdered.
Jesus.
That's how the movie starts.
Jesus. So they're starting this movie with
like
a
letting
knee.
you know,
they're taking a knee at the beginning of the film.
Like, hey, this how we kicking this shit out. Okay?
Right.
Yeah, this is how the game starts.
Yeah, they're taking a knee. All right.
And then it says, like, that quote goes away, and then it says, most at the hands of another black male. That's the second quote.
Right.
Right? And then the movie starts. Our movie starts with a young Trey.
No way.
That's the guy's name, Trey.
So he has the same name as our roommate.
And he's meeting his friends on the corner.
Okay.
And one of the boys asks, it's him. And
how old is he?
He's about 9, 10.
Okay. So
Young kid. He's a kid.
Mm-hmm.
He's meeting. It's him and his friend and 2 girls, and he asks him to come. One of the friends says, "Hey, you want to see something?" He's like, "Yeah." He takes him to where a drive-by shooting took place. So you see all these Ronald Reagan posters.
Oh.
Right? Drive-by shooting, and you see blood all over the ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a little girl, I swear to God, a little girl goes, "Why is it turning yellow?" And then one of the little boys goes, "Oh, that's because the blood is separating from the plasma." I don't know why John Singleton threw that in there, but he threw that in there, man.
Oh God, good little science knowledge.
He was like, "Hey, I'm gonna let y'all know."
Damn.
That
kid's been around a lot of drive-bys. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
That was what he was alluding to.
Yeah.
Very good.
Oh, so I didn't
shot.
miss the point?
You didn't miss the point.
Oh,
on that
thank
one.
God.
Next scene, they cut right to he's in school. Regular school, black school. Teacher is a young white hot lady. She's up there teaching. He's being kind of a class clown.
Okay.
The young Trey kid. He says everybody's saying something, and then he says something funny. Right. Everybody laughs.
Right.
And then she says, "Trey, do you want to come up and teach the class?" And then he was like, "Maybe." And then the class got another. He gets another big laugh. She's like, "Well, why don't you come up here and do it?" Right.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes up, and then he starts like teaching real shit about like Africa and how we're all descendants of Africa and how we all came from Africa. And the teacher's kind of like, you can tell it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah. And then like one of the little black kids in the front's like, I ain't from no Africa. And then he's like, hey. And then like you can tell the Trey kid kind of gets mad at him. He comes up to him. He's like, hey, if you're born, you're from Africa. Every person's from Africa. And he's like, nigga, fuck you. I ain't from no fucking Africa. It's a hood. It's a hood black school. Right. And then he gets up and he's like, nigga, fuck you. And then they just start fighting. They just like that.
Crazy. So Trey is woke.
Trey's woke.
Okay.
Very woke.
Right.
You find out next that his mother and father. That's why he's woke.
Okay.
So
he gets in a fight.
The next scene, he's like walking home from school. Mm-hmm. I swear to God, dog. He's just walking home from school and like you can hear the voiceover of his mother on the phone with the teacher, and the teacher's like saying like really racist shit, like really like, do you have a job? And the mother's clearly very educated and like and just like talking to like, why did my son get into a fight? And she's telling him, and she's just saying like really racist shit. And the mom's like, I'm not gonna send my son back to your school anyway, right? So you hear this going on while he's walking home from school, and he's walking by like 6 like black dudes doing a dice game,
right?
And then 5 of the black guys just start beating one of this nigga's ass. And he just walks by it casually. Like it's just another day.
Right.
Fucking powerful scene, dog. Like they start beating the shit out of a motherfucker.
Like savagely?
Yeah.
Right.
And he's just walking home from school.
Okay, and he just passes that.
Yeah,
like,
passes it like
just another day.
Another day.
Damn.
Another day in South Central, baby.
Do you know how to play dice?
I don't. I've played it once in a middle school bathroom. Didn't know what I was doing, and I won $10.
Really? So you just threw it, and you're like, yeah.
Yep, and they knew.
That's funny. They could have just.
They could have. I
it.
had no idea. I just went with the momentum. Put my money down. I threw, and everybody was like, "Oh!" And I won $10.
That's so funny.
No idea what happened.
That's really funny.
Yeah. Yeah. You ever played it?
I played once too, but I forgot what happened.
Yeah, I don't.
And it wasn't for money. Someone was just showing me how to play, and I didn't stick. I think because I had to play for money for me to really care.
Was it craps or dice?
It was dice. No, it was dice. It was on some kind of. It was in Marty's.
Yeah,
it was dice. Sense. It was that.
That would go down.
Yeah, and I know sevens are really important, and snake eyes are really bad.
Snake eyes are bad.
Yeah, that's all I know about
good.
dice.
I think 11s are good.
7-11. I do think those.
It's a good store.
Yeah, that sounds familiar, but again, that just might be
a store.
Yeah, that just might be us doing word association right now.
Yeah, very much could be.
Yeah, if anyone knows how to play dice, please tell us.
We'd love to know.
Yeah.
the mom, like, he comes home and the mom, like, pulls him to the side and talks to him. And she's like, Trey, what did we say about fighting, right? And then he said, if I fight one more time, I might have to go live with my father or whatever. Like, and then, so that was like, I guess, some agreement that they had. Like, clearly not like it was very, I put it like that, but it was a very more educated conversation.
Okay.
You could tell, like, it was like, they had like they wrote down, like, oh, this mother's like a lawyer or a doctor or something. And they made, like, she made him write down an agreement, like, that he wouldn't fight.
Okay.
For like this amount of stuff. So the mother and the father are clearly separated. You don't know if the dad's a good guy or a bad guy.
That's a weird agreement.
Weird agreement.
Right.
But that's what it was. The mother is also Angela Bassett.
Okay.
Huge black actress. She played Tina Turner in a movie.
Ah.
Yeah. Won an Oscar for it. Anyway, or nominated. No, she didn't win. She got nominated. Great actress. Also, like I said, it's just star-studded cast. It's crazy how many people are in the cast. So on the drive to like the next scene, like she's driving him to the father,
right?
Like to his father's house now,
right?
To go live with him and go to school, like where in that
neighborhood.
And on the drive, she's like having like a real conversation with him about like how like I don't want you to be just another dead nigga, like I don't want you to be just another nigga in front of these liquor stores. That's why I'm taking you to live with your father. You need to learn how to be a man. I can't teach you how to be a man. You know what I mean? So they get to the house. The father, very young, handsome Lawrence Fishburne.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Very young Lawrence Fishburne.
Morpheus is here?
Morpheus is in this motherfucking bitch. You know what I'm saying? Very woke dad. That's what I'm saying. No, the dad's very woke, very good guy.
Well, yeah, he's trying to get his son out of the dream world.
Yeah. Yes. In this scenario,
in this scene, this is another Matrix he's trying to help his son out of.
Yeah. So the mother and the Lawrence, the mom, Angela Bassett rolls up and he talks to his son. You can tell like his friends. You see his friends kind of cross the street that you first get introduced to. The other characters in the movie.
Okay.
Which is Doughboy, another kid named Ricky.
What's the main character's name again?
Trey.
So Trey,
Doughboy, which is Ricky.
Yeah.
Doughboy's a little fat kid. Ricky is a young, like, little athletic kid. And then another kid named Chris, who's like a little skinny kid.
Okay.
Those are the kids. So they're hanging out in the yard right when he pulls up, waiting for him to get out of the car.
Right.
Okay. And then the dad, Lawrence Fishburne character is like, go out and talk to your friends, right? So he starts talking to the mom, and the mom's like, I don't know, should we do this? I'm really nervous. Is he just gonna live with you? And then he's telling her like, hey, he's got to do this. He's like, if he wants to be a man, I'm gonna teach him how to be a man,
right?
Like, even though we're separated, like, and I guess they didn't want to do the back and forth shit. And also, you've come out to find out later in the movie that really she just needed to go like, become a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. Because when they first start off, she's also broke. In the hood. She's living. He's walking home to her house. She has to be in the hood. But she's very educated, and she's like, and they do mention early in the movie like she's in college to do something. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So she's trying to get somewhere. So I guess it also like, oh, it made sense for their situation, but they don't bring that up. They don't dive into that.
Okay.
Why he's going to live with the father, but you kind of allude to it. And you find out.
You can
later.
piece it together.
You piece it together, and then you find out later.
Okay.
So they kind of talk about that.
And what does the dad do?
The dad.
Okay. We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
So they talk about how I'm gonna raise him to be a man and all this stuff, and and then she kind of drives off, and then right then he immediately puts his son to work. Like his son just gets there,
right,
and he's like, "Hey boy, rake these leaves." Also, they're in LA. So they pan back to the only house with leaves. No, there's no trees. Right. Not a tree in sight.
Yeah, what?
Full yard of leaves.
Yeah.
Full yard, right? And of course, like the friend Doughboy, all his other friends,
they're all, fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that. I ain't work. Because he offers them to do it too. And then they're like, oh, we'll do it for money. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, I'm not paying you. My son to do it for free. And of course, the son's like, well, I got to do it. He's like, shut up, boy. Go rake the leaves. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, man, your daddy mean as hell. I mean, I wouldn't be doing that shit, right? And then they walk off. And you already just see that difference of like, oh, that's what it's about.
Right.
It's just about that. Just having a dad, right? Because they don't have dads.
Yeah, they're just that disciplined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when he gets into the fight with a kid in the beginning of the movie, the reason that they get into a fight is he says, that's why you don't know who your daddy is, nigga. And then the kid like punches him. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So like that was one of the reasons they even got into the fight. Like that. So it's clearly
So this opening is very dad heavy.
Very dad heavy.
Right.
Very dad, which is just a real thing, So he immediately puts his son to work. It's power, and it's just kind of, it's a powerful moment because his friends walk away. You just kind of see that little difference, right?
Right.
The next scene, they're like sleeping. The Lawrence Fishburne and his son in the house. Powerful. It's kind of quiet. Music playing, and you see somebody kind of creeping in.
Like a person?
Yeah, like a breaking in the house to steal, like
shit.
a crackhead looking kind of motherfucker. And then the music's kind of playing softly, and it kind of picks up. The music's also crazy throughout the whole movie.
Okay.
And it picks up, and then you see Lawrence Fishburne like with a huge ass revolver, and he blows 2 fucking huge bullet holes through his own front door, trying to shoot the nigga like pow. And the guy barely gets away, right?
Right.
Barely gets away. So now Lawrence Fishburne's sitting out the front with his son, and they're waiting for the cops, right?
Right.
Because they just blew, they're waiting for the cops. Cops are late. It's been like hours. And then Lawrence Fishburne, the Trey character, he looks at his dad and he goes, I wish you would have killed that nigga dad. And he goes, hey, boy, don't talk like that. Just one more brother killing another brother. Right? He says like a great line, like a deep line to him like that, right? And then the cops show up. Okay? Cops, white cop and a black cop.
All right, cool. And I'm guessing they're nice people.
Well, we'll see.
They're reasonable, and they'll listen to their complaints.
They show up. They're an hour late. The black cop says to Lawrence Fishburne character, he says, I wish you'd have killed him. Been a one less nigga to worry about. Like right in front of his son. Right? This is the black cop saying
right,
this
yeah.
shit. Right? Just like a horrible motherfucker.
Yeah, it's always in the NWA movie. They have a scene with the black cop.
It's the black cop. It's always the black cop.
cop.
Because, that's the truth a lot of times. I mean, not always, but it's the truth a lot of times. And then, so you see like the Lawrence Fishburne character is like kind of looking at him crazy, and then he goes to shake the Trey character's hand, like the black cop.
Yeah.
And then Lawrence Fishburne's like, "Go get in the house."
Right.
And then the black cop's like, "What's your problem, man?" And then he's like, he says, cop says, you got something wrong? And then Lawrence Fishburne says, "Yeah, brother, it's just a shame you don't know what it is."
Ooh.
And then he like throws a cigarette, and they walk in the house and just let it be. Like fuck it, we're not gonna.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
That's a good line.
Yeah. So. Cut to next day, next scene. We meet Doughboy and Ricky, who are brothers. The two other little boys, Doughboy, Ricky, little fat kid.
Yeah.
Doughboy is the young Ice Cube character. Ricky is the young Morris Chestnut character.
Okay.
A lot of famous actors in this movie.
I don't know who Morris Chestnut is, but
You've seen him. If I showed you his face, you'd be like, "Oh, that nigga."
That is an amazing name.
Morris Chestnut, great black name.
Yes.
So their mom, they're brothers in this movie. Okay. Their mom, you meet her. She is just imagine like Medea.
Okay.
But like a real person, and she's skinny. But like bad, like mean.
Okay.
So her opening scene.
So she's not doing Halloween. No,
she's not doing Halloween. She's not doing Boo.
No.
She's not going to. She's going to jail maybe, but I don't know. Her opening scene is her talking. So the little Doughboy character, the little Ice Cube, he's brushing his head, right? Just brushing his head, walking back and forth.
Right.
And then she's like, "You ain't shit. Your daddy wasn't shit. You ain't never
Jesus.
gonna be shit, nigga. You listen to me when I talk." He's like, "Can I go with my friends?"
So she's setting him up well for life.
She's setting him up.
Really laying the groundwork for a lot of
future positive.
Yeah,
stuff.
a lot of positive mental.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a lot of positive mental things going on there. All right, cool.
So yeah, this is a fucked up movie. Man.
I know this was a story about good moms.
So she's going off on him, about how she ain't shit, and then the Ricky character, the Ricky character walks in, and
was Ricky older?
Same age.
Same age. Okay.
They got different dads.
Oh, different dads.
The Ricky character's got a football in his hand, and he's just walking by out loud, and he's just like, "Man, I'm gonna be a great football player. I'm gonna be the best football player." So it is. You did mention the football thing. There is football in it.
Man, in an effort to not appear racist, I was wrong.
You were wrong. I'm gonna be a great football player, and then the mom supports it. Clearly likes this son because she goes, "That's right, baby. You sure are."
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of my house to the other one, right? And then so they leave to go hang out with Trey, and then
who plays adult Trey?
Adult Trey?
Yeah.
Cuba Gooding Jr. That's the lead of the movie. That's the lead of the poster, Cuba Gooding Jr.
Oh, shit. You're right. I just saw 3 dudes. That's all I really looked at.
So they're all outside kind of hanging around, and the Doughboy character and the Ricky character kind of getting a little brother spat as this new moving van pulls up, and we meet our Trey's young love interest.
Oh.
So a new girl moves in.
Okay.
Who happens to be Nia Long, another famous black actress.
Okay.
She gets referenced in a lot of rap songs.
Yeah, I've heard of her name. J. Cole wants to fuck her.
He does. Well, she's pretty hot, especially as this kid. So she's in the movie. So she moves in, and the Trey character, they kind of see each other from across the way, and then the mom's like, "Get in the house! Don't you be looking at those nappy-headed boys."
Right.
Just saying some more race. Just a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of racism.
Yeah. So the kids, they leave. They go off, and the Doughboy, the Ricky character who wants to be a football player, has a football. The Doughboy character says, "Hey, don't bring that football.
Right.
Don't bring your football." And he's like, "Oh, I want to bring my football." They emphasize, "Don't bring your football." The Doughboy's like, "Hey man, I don't want to be fighting for your fucking football. You gonna lose that shit."
Right.
And he's like, "Nothing's gonna happen. I'll be fine." So they go off, and then one of the classic lines in this movie, one of the little Chris characters says to the other 3 characters, just like in the Goonies, "Y'all want to see a dead body?" One of the classic lines in the movie. "Y'all want to see a dead body?"
Always.
And so the other kids are like, "Yeah." So they go off to just some other neighborhood, and it's kind of taped off, and then they just walk across, and bro, it's just a dead body there. Nobody came to pick it up.
It's just left there.
Just left there.
Shot
up.
Oh.
Just a dead nigga, man. You know what I'm saying? So they just kind of looking at him, and then as they're looking at him, some older, bigger kids walk up, like some hood kids, and they're like, "Hey, little nigga, let me see that football." And then you see the little doughboy kid that just panned. It's such a good act. He's just like, "Told you not to bring that football, man. I told you." And then he's like, "Hey, man, it's my daddy's football or whatever." And he's like, "Let me see. I ain't gonna take your little football, little nigga." And he pulls out like a huge wad of cash. He's like, "I could buy 1,000 footballs, cuz." I remember he said that. I was like, "Oh, what a dick."
Yeah.
And then he goes, "I just want to see your football." And then he's like, "Man, you got to throw him the football." And then you kind of see it like they all have that look of like, "Fuck, we just lost this goddamn
right."
We definitely lost this football.
Right.
Throws the football over there, and then like you see the Ricky kid. He kind of like starts crying, and he throws the football to him, and they go like, "Thanks, little nigga." And the bigger kids they start throwing the football like off. They go off and start throwing the football off to themselves, right?
Right.
So now they're walking back, and the doughboy character is looking at his brother, and he's like, "Fuck." And he's they're the same age.
Right.
They're both little.
And these kids are like 16.
These kids are like 16, 17.
Okay, so they're like double their age. Almost.
Yeah, huge. You know, just grown men look compared to these kids.
Right.
So they walk back. The doughboy character, he's like, "Hey man, get my brother's football back, man." And then he's like, "Man, no, I'm not giving your brother's football back." He's like, "Bro, give my brother." And he starts trying to get the football for him.
Right.
And then like one of the other bigger hood kids is like, "Hey, just give the little dude his football, man. He's trying to give it for his brother." And then finally the doughboy character, he gets mad and just fucking kicks the shit out this nigga. Bow!
Really?
And then the older kid beats the shit out of him, just slaps him.
Okay.
Whack, just slaps the shit out. He's like, I was gonna give you the football too, little nigga. And then he kicks this nigga.
Oh.
This is a 70-year-old kid. Like punts him, dude.
That's
like a hard. So it's like a heavy movie, man. Where
That's
it's like
real.
It's like each scene is like shocking, man.
That's
like,
real.
Yeah, man.
Does he get the football back?
So of course he says he's not gonna give him the football.
Yeah.
And then now the Ricky character, he comes and gets his brother up, and he's like, "Get off me, man." He's like, "I told you not to bring that football." He's still kind of mad. And they're walking off, and then even bigger hood kid who watched it all go down.
Yeah.
He walks up to the dude. He's like, "Give me the football." He's like, "Man, fuck them little niggas." He's like, "Bro, give me that motherfucking football." And he gives it up. He's like, "Hey, look." He's like, "Hey, little nigga." And he's like, "Huh?" And then he throws him the football like across the thing. It was kind of like a.
That's a.
Hey, Mean Joe. It was kind of like that.
That's a classic movie trope.
Oh yeah,
like you get your ass kicked, but you win the respect because
you win the respect
went out.
because another big, like, it's always by a bigger fish.
Or
sees the other big fish fuck with you. That's what it was.
That's It's like, okay, you win this one just for sticking in the pocket and getting your ass kicked for a reason.
Oh yeah,
the universe rewards him.
Classic Star Wars Phantom of the Menace when the fish eat the fish, the bigger fish keep eating the fish.
No idea what you're talking about.
Star Wars reference. The real niggas know what's up.
I don't remember Phantom of the Menace that well.
Well, that's your fault.
Yeah.
The best one?
Okay, get out of here. You're probably wrong. Judging by what people have said, you're probably not right.
So as they do that, the doughboy character, right, they throws the ball back, they get the ball, and the doughboy character with the little Chris character, he's like, "Hey, let's go to the store. We're going to go to the store." Right. And then you hear the Ricky character, his brother, go, "You ain't got no money." He's like, "Don't worry about it. I'm going to the store." And then he goes off to the store. They split up. The Trey character goes, "I got to leave. I got to meet up with my dad." Right. So he goes and meets up with his dad, and the next scene is there at the ocean. Lawrence Fishburne and the young Trey character, right? And they're just talking about life. He's just talking to him about sex. Oh, man.
There was
a good scene.
So there was a little bit of moonlight in this.
Yes. Very much so.
Yeah.
Black boys. Yeah. In the light. Yeah, very much that scene. So he's just kind of, and he's talking to him. He's like, "What do you know about sex?" I remember it's one of the things he asked him. And the little Trey character's like, "I know you put your thing in a girl, and 9 months later, a baby come out." And then he like explains to him what sex is.
Right.
And then like they go from talking about sex to him going, "Never join the military.
Right.
A black man ain't got no place in the army." Then he tells his Vietnam story.
Oh, good God.
It just comes out of nowhere.
Oh, God. So in his mind, Vietnam and sex are very closely tied together.
I guess.
Like, so man, I can't teach this guy sex without telling him about the horrors of Vietnam.
Oh no, I remember he was telling him how he got to he had he had him when he was 17. He had he was just telling him how he doesn't want to make the same mistakes he made, and how all of his friends were out just robbing niggas and all that shit. And then he was like, "I'm gonna join the army," and then he was like, "Never join." And then that's how he got to there.
Right. Okay. So there was just no winning for his dad.
Well, his dad's fine now. You can tell his dad's
fine now.
I remember his dad owns. It's in Crenshaw, but his dad owns a house.
Okay.
By himself.
Okay.
With only one son, has a job.
Okay, so he's doing
taking care of his son.
Right. So it seems like the military really isn't a bad option.
Well, he was just saying how it's no place for a black man, how they treat you just like a slave, which is true. I mean, semantics. Not. Yeah. This isn't the political black people podcast. Yeah. This is the Boys in the Hood podcast.
Yeah, that's true. But I guess in that sense, if you were looking at the whole sort of movie, that's what they're saying is there really isn't any place for black people.
No, that's what he was saying.
As of right then.
Yeah.
And maybe even now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was just no place to feel like yourself, where you can feel who you really are, a true free person.
Okay.
You know. Anyway. So they're talking about that, and then they're driving home from the store, and that song plays. That song, "Ooh, child, things are gonna get easy." So that song starts kind of playing over the song, and as they're driving back,
the original version, not the Tupac version. Right?
The original version.
Right.
They're driving back, and the Tupac version definitely hadn't come out yet.
Okay.
They see a cop car in front of the Ricky and Doughboy character's house, and then a cop is like arresting the little Doughboy character, the little kid. He's just getting arrested, and then as they get back, you can see he's like, "Oh man," little Trey's like, "What happened?" He's like, "They got caught stealing," you know, and it just sets up like, "Oh, okay, this is this character's life." You know, and it shows the Ricky character. His brother. He's holding the football, kind of looking at him. He looks at his brother, and then he just starts throwing the football, like just sets up like his kind of life, like what his life, like okay, the decisions these guys can make.
Right,
it's not a lot.
No,
and then the Trey character's looking at this, and he's watching it all happen. Right, as the Chris and the Doughboy character are getting arrested.
Right, so it's almost basically to Trey, he's seeing the two kind of options his life can go down.
Yo, it's athletics. Motherfucking
jail.
I mean, or his dad finding,
or
it's like
figuring out what he
can do. You know what I mean? Like it's just like fuck, man. So that's how the beginning of the movie, and then
and it's all just because he has a dad. He has one more option.
He has an option.
That's insane.
So cut to the next scene. 7 years later. So it says 7 years later.
Okay.
Now the movie's really starts.
Okay.
We're at a barbecue party.
Okay. Nice little cookout.
Nice little cookout.
Unrelated fact. It's not a fact. The year before I went to college in UCSD. The year before I went, Fred threw like a Compton cookout party, and it started race riots on our campus.
They didn't want it?
No, it's just a bunch of white people.
White people didn't want it?
No, a bunch of white people threw it.
Oh, I thought black people threw it and white people got mad.
White people threw it, and then it wasn't a race riot, but they were like, it was racial tensions like a motherfucker. And then a Mexican kid hung a noose from the library.
That's interesting for a Mexican kid to do that.
Right. It's very weird, but now every time I hear a cookout like that, I can't help but think about that weird saga in my life.
And a little bit about Ehsan Ahmad.
All right, there we go. I'm sorry.
No, you that's how you felt.
Yeah. I was like, I know a little bit about cookouts. Well, not really, but
not
a little.
Really.
Yeah.
You just
a little.
I like how you called it a race riot.
Yeah.
But yeah, racial tensions.
But yes.
People were just a little upset.
No. They were like huge protests. They shut down the campus for like a week.
Like white people or black people were upset?
Black people. And then
there were black people at your campus?
No, they were busing in people to protest. Like that's how insane it was. That's how insane it got.
Who were the black people that were getting busted in?
I don't know. People were taking in, like it was like a big protest.
You knew more about this.
It happened the year before.
Happened the year before you got there?
Yeah.
Well, you weren't there for this.
No, but it was like that's anyone could talk about when I got there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everything was diversity pushed. Like diversity mattered a lot. Shit like that, and it was weird. We had like campus meetings about how it's important to be diverse or whatever the fuck. PC culture is very racist.
The most.
Yeah.
That's what racism is.
PC culture is incredibly racist.
There's racist and then there's PC culture, which is just its own form of racism.
Yeah, I know. It's
all those social justice people are very racist.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. They started putting up signs that said, "Don't call minorities, call them people of color," shit like that. They're just like, okay, we can just use this to pivot to a new way.
Yeah, that's why I was like, man, I wonder who was actually protesting, because I know it wasn't black people.
No,
but like I said, if they were busting them in,
it must have been
like,
angry white people.
Yeah, they had to. There's no way.
No.
There's also there was no black people at your school. It's like there's no black people in San Diego.
No. So it was just the campus got shut the fuck down.
For nothing. Well, for white people being racist.
Yeah.
Or white people throwing a party. I don't know, because if white people throw they throw toga parties, niggas don't shut down Greece or whatever. You know what I mean?
All right, so they're at this cookout.
They're at the cookout 7 years later. Motherfuckers are now grown.
Right.
The cookout, you find out the cookout is Doughboy just got out of jail.
Okay.
Not for stealing something.
But from other stuff.
For some real shit. He just got the pen, too, like the penitentiary.
Okay.
So that's what the party's for.
Mm-hmm.
We see Ricky, who's now a big 18-year-old Morris chest, buff-ass dude. You know what I mean? He has a son.
Oh, damn.
He has a son and he has a girl, he also goes to high school with.
He's still in high school?
They're all still in high school. They're all senior year for all of them. Other than Doughboy. I don't know. Doughboy is just Doughboy.
Yeah, Doughboy's doing his own thing.
So yeah, you got that. You got Cuba Gooding. They're all
with his pack of dogs. With his pack
wrong
of
movie.
Okay.
Close, but wrong. It happens a little later in his life.
All right.
So they show the Ice Cube character for the first time, like as Doughboy, right? And he's playing spades with like his new crew of boys,
right.
And it's just like these 3 hood ass niggas, and it's the Chris dude who is now in a wheelchair.
There is a wheelchair involved.
There is a wheelchair.
Oh man, I feel validated right now.
Yeah,
I do very feel validated.
So Chris is in a wheelchair, so they're all sitting there, they're playing dominoes, and they're talking about like fucking dope heads. Just wild shit, just
right.
like hood shit. Talking about how like, and then one of them's like, they're telling one of their friends he's got to stop doing that shit. He's like, I don't fuck him, I just let him suck my dick. And they're like, that's how you get AIDS. He's like, you can't get AIDS from that. And they're like, yeah, nigga, that's how you get AIDS. Like, it's like a whole conversation. And then
forgot AIDS is like a new thing.
Yes,
that's interesting.
So that's when the Cuban Gooding Jr., a young Cuba Gooding, enters.
AIDS is hot.
Yeah, AIDS is very hot.
Yeah,
a young Trey, he comes up, and then the hood mom from earlier, the mom of Ricky and Doughboy, she tells
right, the Medea mom.
The Medea mom, she tells him, she's like, hey. Cuba Gooding, she's like, hey, go talk to Doughboy and see if what some of you got can rub off on him. And he's
right.
like, yes, ma'am. So he goes and talks to him. They kind of say, what's up? And then like Doughboy's just asking him hood questions, like, you know, like you sell rocks, nigga. You look like you sell rocks, nigga. You know what I mean? Like asking him crazy shit. And he's like, no, I don't sell rocks, man. I just got a job at the mall.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, I heard good shit about you. And then they're just talking about being in jail and why he's all buff now. It's like random stuff, right?
Right.
But you can tell they're just getting annoyed and just see the different paths.
Right,
that's what they're showing.
They've grown apart since you've last seen
exactly.
them. Right,
they've really grown apart. Then they also show Nia Long, which is now the girl that the love interest from across the street,
right?
Who's Trey's girlfriend now.
Okay, good. Hey, good for you, Trey.
Yeah, good. So they show her for the first time, and her and Trey are having differences.
Right,
they're showing they're having like a little spat. You don't know what for, but that's just the first thing they show is that they're having a little spat. So, Trey leaves the party, to like, because him and the girl, they kind of have a whatever. So he leaves the party to bring his dad a plate of food.
Right.
And as he's leaving the party, he sees a baby in the middle of the street. Just like a fucking baby. So he runs and a car's about to hit him. He stops the car and he grabs the baby and he's like, I'm sorry, man. And then he takes the baby to a door and he knocks on it and he's like, he's yelling some name. And then a crackhead lady opens the door. She's like, what? What do you want? And he's like, take your fucking baby. It's in the street again. And she's like, fuck that. She's like, you got some crack? I'll suck your dick. And he's like, just take care of your baby. And then he leaves. Like, that just is a scene.
Oh, man. So the baby's just out?
Baby was just out in the middle of the street.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So he's trying to bring his dad a plate of food. This is across the street from his house. Right. So he goes back now to cross the street to get back to his house. And you see a red car kind of almost hit him. And he kind of goes like, hey, man. And then the window rolls down and it's like 4 blood, like hood niggas. And a shotgun comes out.
Yeah.
Sawed off shotgun. And the nigga's like, what's up, nigga? You got a problem? You got a problem? And he just puts his hands up. This is like all within a span of like 10 seconds.
Right, this is really fast. He just had a baby in his hands.
Yeah, and he's just holding his hands up and he's like, and they're like, yeah, that's what we thought, you little Mark ass nigga. Oh, Mark. That's what I remember they go, oh, Mark ass nigga. It's just a weird thing to call somebody for a Mark.
Yeah, what is that? I've heard people say that though. What does that mean?
It's funny. It just sounds funny.
This guy resembles a Mark.
Yeah, and Mark's a loser.
Yeah.
I think it's a Mark. I think it's like a target too.
Right, like a mark.
Like a mark.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's really, and then it's just you take that and just like a loser, like a victim.
Okay. So you're an extra loser.
You're an extra loser.
Mm-hmm.
So Trey, obviously, the red car drives off. This red car comes back into play later, by the way.
Okay.
A lot. They drive off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trey goes in the house. Doesn't even tell. This is how you know how crazy his life is.
He doesn't even tell his dad.
No.
His dad already knows.
Doesn't tell his dad shit. Just goes like, hey, got some food for you.
Yeah.
Just goes on about his day. That's how crazy. Also, throughout the whole movie, helicopters are flying throughout the whole movie. The whole movie, you hear helicopters.
Oh, so it's just LAPD. People. Just chasing people.
The whole movie.
That's nuts.
The whole.
That's nuts. That's someone's life. It's just
that's why, dude. It's so intense, and every shot is so real. It's fucking insane, man. So he asks his pops, he's like, hey, Dad, can you give me a haircut? And he's like, after I get done eating. So the next scene is like him cutting his hair, and then they start talking about sex again. And he's like, hey, boy, you had sex yet? And he's like, yeah, I'm having sex. And he's like, tell me about the time you had sex. Like, tell me a story. And he tells him like this ridiculous story.
So he's clearly not having sex.
Clearly not having sex.
He's like, oh man, I felt her boobs, and they were like back.
No. Like he tells a story. Like the story sounds real. Like he's like, so pops, I'm at the spot, right? And these girl rolls up, and everybody tries to rush her. But she comes right at me and she's like, "This your car?" And I was like, "Yeah." This is exactly how the scene goes. That's what I got. And she's like, "Oh, can I drive it?" And he's like, and I was like, "Do you drive stick?" And she was like, "You can teach me." So, Dad, I got her number, and the next day I'm at her house, and I'm smashing out, right? And then her grandma came in, and I guess she smelled us fucking, because she ran right upstairs with a meat cleaver, and I had to break out. And ever since then, I've called her, but she don't answer and stuff like that. And his dad was like, "Okay." And then his dad was like, "What, did you wear rubber? Like, did you use protection?" And he was like, no, his dad said, "What did you use?" And he was like, "Oh, I used the phone number she gave me." He said, "No, boy, did you use protection?" And he's like, "No, she said she was on the pill." And then it turned into this whole speech and like ran about, "You gonna learn, boy. You gonna learn that your dick, a pill don't make your dick fall off." So you know what I mean? Like going off like just giving him the dad speech, that you need to know. It's a very powerful, another powerful. It went from me like light to powerful really quick. The movie never lets you feel good.
Okay, so it's never like, here's a moment of levity. They're talking about fucking.
Never.
No. God.
They gave you the moment of levity, and then it just came into like some real shit. So that ends. They cut to the next morning, and they're going to school, right?
Oh yeah, they're still seniors in high school.
Yeah, they're
Jesus
going to school.
Christ.
So Cuba Gooding's
There's
in the
so
car.
much that happened.
So much that fucking happened.
I already feel in those 10 seconds he's lived more life than I have lived.
Dude,
that's how it feels.
I watched this movie when I was a little. I saw this movie when I was a little kid, and the only reason I watched it, I was 10 years old, and it came on at BET, because it started with black kids.
Right.
The opening scene has black kids in it, so I was like, "Ooh, what's this?" And then I was traumatized.
That's crazy.
Because it's just too much. Like, this might go a little. So next morning, like they're going to school, and the Trey character's clearly mad. Like the first thing he does is like yell at the Ricky character. He's like, "Don't be slamming my door like a goddamn gorilla, like you're on a football field." And the Ricky character's like, "Damn, nigga, what's your problem?" He's like, "Nothing. Just been talking to my dad. I'm stressed." And then the Ricky character goes, "Oh, okay. Hey, I got a recruiter from USC coming over tonight." And then the Trey character goes like, "Oh, that's cool." And then they just start and then they just move on. And I remember thinking, they're like, that's not, I mean, come on. That's a bigger deal.
People just don't get not angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, USC, I'm a little impressed.
Right, yeah. That's like, oh my God, the pros are...
Oh, yeah.
You have the pros in your sights.
Yeah, that means, you're that level of football player, which you find out he is. He is like a huge, big deal.
Right.
So they're on their way to school, and then the Ricky character's like, "What's wrong?" And he's like, "I lied to my dad for the first time." And he's like, "What would you lie to your dad about?" He's like, "I told him I had sex." And the Ricky character's like, "But you have had sex." And he's like, "I've never had sex." He's like, "Why?" He's like, "Tell you the truth, dog, I'm scared." And then the Ricky character just busts out laughing. Like, just busts out, like, laughing in his face. Like, it's really funny. And he goes, "What the fuck are you scared of, nigga? Why are you scared of pussy?" And then I swear to God, it was a tragic line. The Trey character goes, "I'm scared of having a baby." And the Ricky goes, Oh yeah, that's something to be scared of. Like it immediately is like, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that's my life.
Yeah, that's right. Oh God, that's so funny. Is that what him and Nia Long are arguing about in the party?
Yes, they never had sex.
Okay.
That's crazy. You don't know that at the time.
Yeah.
But you find out later that that's what it was about.
That's crazy.
So the next scene is like a montage kind of scene, like where it's a kind of a cut to like of what everybody's doing in their life on that day, like later that day. So it's They show Nia Long and the Trey character, they're arguing about that, about like why they haven't had sex and all this bullshit. Then they cut to, and it's the Ice Cube character, Doughboy, and him and his friends are like sitting on the corner talking, and a crackhead walks by and like grabs one of their chains, and then they chase him down and beat the shit out of him.
Right.
Like with a trash can, like it's vicious.
Okay.
It's like a montage scene. Like it's like music's playing over the background of this.
It's the eye of the tiger.
Yeah,
What's
like
going on?
that.
Yeah.
And then they show Ricky at football practice just kicking ass.
Right.
Just being like, oh, this guy's a badass.
Receiver?
Running back.
All right.
And then they cut back to Nia Long and Trey, and they're arguing still about sex, and it's a very high school argument because he's all like, she's like, "I want to wait till we get married." And he's like, "I said I'm gonna marry you," and she's like, "I don't have no ring." He was like, "But if I say it, that's what it means." You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's very high school,
Right.
And then the argument kind of ends, and they make up, right? So the next scene, he's on the couch, like on the phone with her, and they're kind of having phone sex, like it's later that night. And then his mom calls, and then he's like, "Okay, hold on, mama," and then he clicks over like to go back to start having phone sex. He's like, "Hey, so what you gonna do with this wood? I'm hard or something." And he's like, "This is still your mother, Trey." Just like Trey's joke, our friend Trey Stewart, shout out. He actually has a sexting joke, so he gets caught like phone sexting with his mom. And then so now you find out his mom is doing very well. His mom's like in a high ass loft and like looks like West Hollywood or some shit.
Okay, but you can't bring her son.
Well, this is the question. So he goes and you gotta remember, he went to go live with her because a woman, like she said, I need to raise him to be a man. Like a man needs to raise him so he can see what a real man is, and then also you could tell it's like, oh, it was so she can go off to college and make a lot of money.
Right.
But at this point in his life, it's like, all right, he has grown, and so that's literally what they start. She goes, hey, why don't you come and live with me now? I got all this money. You should come and live with me before college. And then he's obviously like, well, I got friends.
Right.
I'm living here at high school. I've been here.
He's already a person.
A person.
Yeah, he's starting to become a person.
And so she's kind of like, but no, that's not the agreement. And he's like, well, I don't know what you want. And so then she's like, let me talk to your father. And then her and the dad immediately start arguing.
Yeah.
Because he's like, hey, he's grown now. You can't make him come live with you. She's like, but that's not, the agreement, and then like just a helicopter flies by.
Right.
Literally a helicopter flies by, drowns out their conversation. You see him look at the helicopter. Scene ends. Good movie, buddy.
Good ending of a scene.
Yep. So, the next scene, still that night, they cut to Doughboy's in the house with his friends, and he's trying to get him to act right. He's got like a 40 in his hand. Right. He's like, hey, y'all nigga, get your feet off the couch. Because they're trying to set up, like his mom and sister are trying to set up for the recruiter.
Right.
And then I swear to God, his mom goes, Doughboy, get your drive-by shooting ass friends out my goddamn house before the recruiter gets here. It's just like, dude.
Damn, that's your son.
Yeah. And then so they go out onto the porch,
and
they're hanging out, right? As Ricky's in the house kind of setting up, getting ready for the recruiter. He's all nervous.
Right.
A car slowly approaches. Like another car. So you think it's like a drive-by? Like a car slowly approaches. And then you see them kind of getting ready, like on the corner. And then the guy like rolls down his window. He goes like, is Ricky such and such? Ricky Barnes here or whatever his name? He's like, oh, yeah, Ricky live here. Hey, yo, Ricky, that recruiter nigga's here to see you, right?
Black guy, white guy.
Black guy.
Okay.
So the UFC recruiter gets out, and I swear to God, one of the black guys is like, hey, so you recruit for USC? And he's like, oh, yes, sir, I do, brother. It's like clearly like an educated guy.
Right.
And he's like, oh, what do I got to do to USC? And he's like, oh, well, do you play athletics? And he's like, I used to play a little baseball, nigga, and when I was a kid. Right. And he was like, oh, okay. And the guy, and then that's when the Doughboy character's like, nigga, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. He's
like, man, go in the house. My brother's there to see you. Like, this is like the UFC recruiter,
right? You're talking
showing up to this.
You're talking to some guy who could take you out of your living situation.
Yeah, and you're like, also it's like, he's not here for you. He's here for this guy's brother. Like, relax.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Point. That's a good point. But people be like that. It's like, oh wow, I have this is a chance for someone else.
Just say some nonsense.
Yeah. Let me tap dance. Let me see if
God.
People are like that, man.
So the Doughboy character, he goes in the house, and then it's so funny. Like he goes in the house, and the mom character immediately is like, not you. Get the fuck out. So the mom kicks him out the house, and he's just being mad niggerish too. It's so Ice Cube's being so niggerish in this whole movie. So then him and the USC recruiter start talking. They start talking like he starts showing him like game tape, and like they show like his tape. He's like a fucking. It looks like LaDainian Thomason footage.
Okay, so he's just murdering
on this tape.
Everybody.
Yeah, and they're talking, but he's like, oh yeah, we lost this game. He's like, but I had like 200-something yards, and they start talking about another game. Then he saw him do like 200-something yards. So it's like, oh, this guy clearly would be a big time running back.
Right. Yeah.
Then they start talking about his grades, and apparently his grade is like a 2.3 GPA. He needs like a 2.5.
Okay.
But all he needs is like, but he told him that even with the 2.3, he'll be fine to get into USC. He needs to get over 700 on his SAT.
Okay.
Or something like that. Something pretty, just he needs to get over a base score on his SAT, and he'll be able to get into USC.
Right.
And then he starts asking him, like, what are your plans for after football in case you don't go to the pros? And then the Ricky character's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, oh, have you never thought about it? And he's like, no. And he's like, you should think about that, young man, especially for a black man. And then they have a whole conversation about like black men, looking past athletics.
Right.
It's a whole movie, bro. It's you know what I mean? It's a whole thing. So
solid social commentary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he just no backup plan at all.
Yeah, no backup plan. And so they talk about that.
There's tragedy wrapped around that.
So the recruiter sees like a baby running, and he goes, oh, is that your nephew? Is that your brother's kid? And he's like, oh, no, that's my son. And you see the recruiter kind of go, oh, okay. And he's like, well, Ricky, we want to help you, but, you're going to have to get this on the SAT, and, we'll see what we can do about the kid. And he's like, but we want to help, right?
Right.
But he's like, you also told him, like, you got to start thinking about your life outside of this, just in case.
Right.
So then he walks out, like, you hear him, like, leave, and Ricky's kind of sitting there looking, like, off. And then he walks out, and then you hear the guy go, hey, nigga, what about that baseball scholarship? Just, like, yelling at the guy.
That's so funny.
Just some hood shit, bro. The next scene is Trey, Ricky, and Nia Long and Ricky's girl. They're all four of them, and they're taking the SATs.
Okay.
So the next scene, they're in the morning.
They're in the testing center.
At the testing center, they're taking the SATs, and they're all looking at each other. And then kind of it's a scene where it's a good scene. Cuba and Ricky kind of lock eyes, and Ricky's like, you can tell he's panicking, he's nervous, and Cuba's like you got this kind of scene.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he's like, and then he starts taking the test, right? So it's like, okay, these guys, like, it's a good scene.
Well, what's crazy is that they have to live this life where they like see these crack babies just on the street and like random people pointing shotguns at them, and then they have to go and take standardized testing.
Yep.
So they're set up to fail.
Set up to fail, baby.
That's crazy.
That's what the movie, and the movie is real. That's what it's like. Oh, this is not some like far fetched.
Yeah,
This is a lot of people's life.
My parents spent so much time and money on like SAT training classes for me, and I still, for the amount of time and effort they put into it, I didn't do that as well.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't do it that well. But like, if you're living,
imagine you had to pick up crack babies while you're
right,
doing that.
right. If you're fucking, helicopters around you all the time, you're not gonna. SATs are the furthest thing.
Oh yeah.
From what you're thinking.
Your brother literally sells crack. Your brother's a crack dealer / like fucking.
You got a kid,
motherfucker.
You got a kid, and then you got to figure out what these vocabulary words mean. Like it's not.
You're trying to be a star football athlete. You're like, there's so much shit on your motherfucking plate, man.
It's not set up. It's set up for you to not do well.
You're right. So next scene,
right.
Classic scene. After the SAT, Ricky and Trey are driving to Trey's dad's job, Lawrence Fishburne's job.
Okay,
you find out he Furious Styles Financial. He's a financial advisor.
Really,
he has a good job, and he has his own private business, small black owned business in like a black neighborhood, right? So they go there and they're talking to him, and then he's asking him about the SATs. It's really good. He asked him about the SATs, and then they're like, oh, we think we did okay, and then he goes, he says all those tests are culturally biased. He's like, you say that they're not meant. He was just he's like, they're not meant for anybody of color. He said the only thing that's universal is math.
Right.
It was a good line. It was like, oh man, that was some real shit he just said.
Wow, that's really smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing that is universal.
And then he goes, and then one of them's like, hey, what do you do? Like for a living, the Ricky character's like, what do you do for a living, Mr. Styles? And then he's like, you want to see? And then they're like, oh, do we have a choice? And then he's like, nope. And then he takes them off, and they drive off, right, to like an even worse neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So they go to even worse neighborhood, like a way hood neighborhood.
Right.
And Ricky and Trey are like clearly nervous, and he's like, get out the car. And then they're like, I don't know if we should be here. And he's like, if we're gonna be scared of our own people, then what's the point of living? Mm-hmm. So he's like, he's just saying dope shit. So he gets him out the car. It's a classic scene. Everybody, like a lot of black people know this scene. So he gets out the car, and he takes him to a billboard, and it's just like a cash for your house billboard.
Right.
And he's like, do you know what this is? And then they're like, it's a billboard. He's like, obvious, motherfuckers, but you know what it is. And then they're like, it's a cash for your house. And he's like, this is gentrification. And then he starts explaining to them what's about to happen to this neighborhood. He's like, see this neighborhood? And then he completely explains what gentrification is. And like as he's explaining it, all these black people start coming up, like older black people, hood niggas, like all these random people start coming, and they start circling around it as he's explaining what gentrification. And it looks like he's preaching. Right. And he is. He's just talking about literally what happens.
Right, and then a Starbucks creeps in from
a
the
Starbucks,
side.
You see a Starbucks like peeking around the corner.
Yeah. He's motioning to his friend, the Chipotle store. Hey, this is where we go.
Yeah, they also were like, he's talking. They know too much.
Yeah. Fallout, Panera Bread, Fallout.
So yeah, he's just giving like this dope ass speech, and then it was too because like one of the hood niggas is like, because they were like, well, what are we supposed to do if all these like an old guy was like, well, the property value going down because all these niggas is killing each other. And then one of the niggas like, what am I supposed to do, old man? A nigga roll up to smoke me, I'ma smoke him first. And he was like, that's what they want you to think, brother.
Right.
That's what they want you to think.
So basically, the system is trying to set it up so they kill each other, and then the white people can come in and take.
Yeah. That's why he explained the whole thing. He explained why
That's
there's a liquor store in every corner, why there's a gun store in every corner, why there's like all those pawn shops on every black corner.
You make those bad decisions, you're all liquored up, and you have access to firearms.
Just nonsense. It's just fucking nonsense, bro. And that's every black neighborhood.
Man, thank God we don't have these problems today, right? Thank God this is
thank God this is only the 90s.
Yeah, thank God everyone just holds hands and sings Kumbaya all day.
So Trey and Ricky, they leave that, right? And they're talking about it, and they're in the car. They're like, man, your dad's like saying some dope shit. And he's like, is he a preacher or some shit? He's like, no, he just reads a lot, And then he's like, oh, what do you want to do? And then the Trey character's like, you want to go hang with Doughboy on Crenshaw? And they're like, fuck it, nigga. Like, like they just did some educated shit. Like, I just like how it's shit, like, because that's what young people do. You're young, you're like, let's go do some bad shit now.
Yeah, well, we'll have fun.
Yeah. So the next scene they
gentrification isn't fun.
Yeah, exactly. No. So it's very high school. They're at like a movie theater.
Ice Cube is fun.
Ice Cube's fun.
Yeah.
So they're at like a movie theater, and they show Doughboy's car. He has like this cool fucking like lowrider kind of car.
So he's got money from selling.
Huge. Yeah, he's doing well.
What?
He's in the car with his boys, and they're talking. It's him and a girl and his two like hood niggas in the back, and they're talking about God. The whole scene they're talking about like whether God's real and whether they believe in him or not, and it's like a very educated conversation.
It's very powerful, probably.
Yeah. And Ice Cube's talking about why he doesn't believe in God.
There's no way.
Just cold calculated because he's just a killer. He's literally a killer. Just like why he doesn't believe in God and all this shit. And then and then one girl's like talks about like why she I don't know if you've ever seen Ray. You ever seen Ray?
No.
God, the lead actress in that. You seen The Boondocks?
No.
You never seen the show The Boondocks?
No.
The cartoon? You know what it is?
I know what it is.
Okay, the lead, the woman who plays the hood woman in this, like does the voices in that. She was the lead actress in Ray. So
Okay.
it's just like I said, star-studded cast of black people. So she says, "How you know God's not a woman? He could be a she, nigga. You don't know that." He said, "God ain't no bitch."
I want that
It
on
was
a
so
t-shirt.
funny. Yeah, he's like, "God ain't no bitch." He said, "Because if God was a bitch," he said, "I read a book in a pen, right? And it said if God was a bitch," and then he says like a dope thing about like how if God was a woman, there would be no war and there'd be no this and that because it's not a woman's nature and all these things. But he kept saying bitch instead of woman, so it kind of took a lot out of his speech.
That's funny to be
But it was
educated.
really
but
funny.
still, yeah.
But it just let you know what kind of person this dude is.
Right. I want that on a shirt.
God ain't no bitch.
God ain't no bitch.
Bro,
Doughboy.
God ain't no motherfucking
That's
bitch.
a good shirt.
Doughboy.
That's a good shirt.
That is a good motherfucking shirt.
If anyone is doing merchandising for that movie still.
So Trey and Ricky, they get there and they start walking to Doughboy's car, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they start talking to him about what Lawrence Fishburne's dad was telling them and all that stuff, and like Ice Cube's kind of agreeing. And while that's happening, remember the four black guys from the beginning of the movie? In the car?
Shotgun the Bloods.
Those guys. So they're walking by. They're not what big group of them. They're walking like maybe 10 of them, huge group, and some girls with them. They're walking by and they bump into Ricky hard, real hard, like enough
on
where you
purpose
have
hard.
on purpose hard where you'd have to say something, or even you'd have to be like, "Yo, what the hey man," like one of those.
Yeah.
So that's what Ricky did. He's like, "Yo, what the fuck's your problem?" And he's like, and the guy goes like, "Oh, what you looking at, nigga?" And he's like, and then the Ricky character's like, "I'm still trying to find out, nigga." And he's like, "Oh, we got a motherfucking problem." And that's when Ice Cube gets out, says a classic line. He goes, "You like real calm." He goes, "Oh, we got a problem, nigga." And then they're looking at him like, "Yeah, we got a fucking problem." He's like, "Oh, we got a problem." And he lifts up his shirt and there's a gun. Like that's where people do get that from. It's
Right.
from that. He's like, "Oh, we got a problem, nigga."
Really? Okay, so
Yeah.
that's like
Yeah, it's a dope ass scene.
iconic scene.
Iconic scene.
That everyone kind of just copies.
Oh yeah. He's like,
Okay.
"Oh, we got a problem, nigga. We got a problem." And then the girl, and then one of the girls on the other side says some really righteous shit. She goes, she's like, "Can we just have one night at this fucking movie theater where like black people just ain't killing each other for no goddamn reason?" This is the hood niggas, the other guy's the black guy's girlfriend.
Right.
And then right when she says that, Ice Cube goes, "Shut the fuck up, bitch." And then everybody on their side is like, "Oh, hey, what's up, nigga?" And then he just pulls the gun out and cocks it. Says, "What the fuck?" I said, "Do we got a problem?" Just like, dude, it's Oscar. I'm telling you, his acting is like scary because he just shut the fuck up, bitch. How he says it too is
Yeah.
just like, God damn.
Like, oh my God, you kill people.
Yeah, like you mean that shit. Like you don't give a fuck. Don't bump into my brother.
Right.
That you can just tell you like from earlier, like, hey, don't fuck with him.
Right.
One rule. I have one thing.
Yeah.
One policy.
Yeah.
You know?
I forgot that they're brothers. Yeah.
Yes. So you fucking with the wrong motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know, and so those guys obviously walk off, and then Doughboy's like, "Man, I'm sick of niggas always acting hard and shit. You know, that's why motherfuckers die, because they want to be ignorant." And then I swear, then one of Doughboy's friends goes, "Shut up, nigga. You do that shit all the time, too." And he goes, "Yeah, nigga, I know." And then they start like laughing. Everybody like laughs, right? And then right in the middle of the laugh, you hear machine gun fire. And then everybody like kind of breaks out and like scatters.
Right.
Like, right? And then they pan to who's doing it, and it's the blood guys.
Oh,
They
damn.
did it on purpose. And so then they get in the car, right, to try and like find them.
Right.
So you see,
Did anyone get killed?
no, they were shooting in the air,
Oh, shooting in
so
the air.
everyone would scatter on purpose,
Okay.
so they can get people. Because you got to remember now they're mad.
Also, they can pick people off one by one.
So you hear the machine gun fire. You don't know what you think people are getting shot. So you see Doughboy, Trey, and Ricky. They all scatter. They all run to their cars and drive off, right?
Okay.
And then they pan back and you see it was the blood dudes, right? And then as everybody scatters, they're like, all right. Then they jump in their cars and like, you know what I mean? They're like, oh, we're gonna get them now. So that's what that was.
Shit.
So next scene.
Oh shit.
Ricky and Trey are in the car.
That's
They're
smart.
driving. Oh yeah, they're driving. Ricky and Trey, because also you don't need witnesses. You know.
Yeah.
Ricky and Trey in the car. They're driving, and you hear whoop, whoop, right? Because they're talking about it too. Like, man, it's fucking crazy. Holy shit! Let's just fucking get. They're like, man, let's just get home. Let's get too nuts tonight. And then you hear whoop whoop, and then they get pulled over.
Right.
It's the cops from the beginning of the movie.
I figured one black, one white.
Same two dudes.
Right.
They pull them over. Immediately make them get out the car.
Right.
Immediately make them get out the car, and just start harassing them in the most racist, fucked up way I've ever seen. Just
What do you mean?
Like you got any drugs on you, got
And
any
then
guns on you,
And then the black cop is throwing out the N-word like nobody's business.
like nobody's business,
Right.
And they're
Hard
searching,
R.
and then motherfucking Cuba Gooding's like, no, we don't sell drugs, man. I told you. And then he flips around. Oh, you think you tough, little nigga? I love killing little niggers. And he puts a gun up right into his mouth. He's like, I love killing you motherfuckers one by one. Like, it's like, fucking.
Damn.
And then, like, just he's going off. He's like, I fucking love it. You're scared now. You feel it, don't you, nigga?
This is the black cop.
He's a black cop. He's like,
Yeah.
you feel it, don't you? You're scared, ain't you, motherfucker? Right? And then the Cuban Gooding character, he's just crying, right? Because he's just, like, looking at him like fear. And then they pan back, and it's the Morris Chestnut, the Ricky dude. He's looking at him. And then the white cop's behind him, and even the white cop is like all three of them are, like, terrified.
Yeah.
And then they get another call, like a dispatch call, like a robbery or something.
Right.
And then they're like, all right, you little niggas better be safe. And then they leave.
And
then they just get back in the car.
That's it's like the Morty cop from that one episode.
Yeah, man, it's pretty much that.
It's Jesus.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's fucked up, man. So the next scene.
I've heard people talk about that with like the Supreme Court judge Clarence Thomas, about how you can flip a lot of like black people to be against you know what I mean? You can flip them against the community. It's not that tough. Like someone was like, I forgot what it was, but they were giving me they put on a list of ways to, like, you know, flip the psyche. So you get a black cop like, yeah, I'm one of the good ones.
Yeah, man.
So if I kill a bad one, I'm a better one now.
I'm a better one.
Yeah.
So
it's like a weird value system.
Oh yeah.
You get more points for being a certain way.
That's what it is, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like that fucking crabs in a bucket, man. Just pulling each other down. You know, that's why it's hard for a motherfucker to get up.
Crabs in a bucket?
You know, like I think that's when like crabs, they always pull each other back. They don't let another one get out the bucket. That's why they all end up dying.
Right.
Instead of
letting one get free.
Yeah.
Whew, that's an interesting analogy.
It's fucked up.
Yeah.
So the next scene is Trey after he goes to his girl's house, Nia Long. He's back at her house, right? And it's a classic scene where he comes in the house and she's like, another helicopter. Like, while she was sitting there doing, like, right before he comes in, she's sitting there doing homework, and then she hears like gunfire and like a helicopter go by, and she just throws her pen because she's just frustrated. She's trying to do homework.
Right.
And then he comes in and she's like, hey, baby, good to see you. And then he just starts crying. He just starts punching. Like, motherfucker, I'll fight all you motherfuckers. It's like he's just crying and punching. It's really like intense. Kill all you motherfuckers. He's crying, and he's just crying because it's just like, man, his life sucks.
Right.
This dude's life has sucked these last 3 days that we've seen. I can't imagine what you know.
Right.
And then she like holds on to him, and then she tells him to go upstairs, and then they like he's crying in her arms, and then he's like, I ain't never cried in front of no female. He says that. He said, I ain't never cried in front of no female. And she goes, you can cry in front of me. And then they make love for the first time.
Yeah, that's a perfect we're gonna have sex line.
Oh, they bone, baby.
I'm glad. I'm happy.
So the next
good
scene,
for you, Trey.
Yeah, good. I'm glad Trey got some pussy finally. Yeah. Next scene is Trey, his father, Lawrence Fishburne, and Angela Bassett, the mom. They're at a very nice restaurant. Very, very nice restaurant. And they're talking, and they're kind of arguing about like what to do about the Trey situation. And he's like, the dad's like, you got to stop being the mommy. Like, it's over. You missed that time of his life. He was trying to like
yeah, you're trying to come back like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's like, you missed that time of your life to do what you had to do. Whoop, whoop. And then and he tries to like leave off the note, and then she pulls him back. She's like, sit your ass back down. And she was like, hey, I'll give you props. You raised your son when I needed you to go to college. You did all that. She was like, but don't think you're special. She's like, you're not special. She's like, women have been doing this. Every woman has been doing this since forever. You're the one nigga that did it. You're not special. You're just cute. That's what she said. And it was like a good line.
Yeah.
But then she also was like, and then she said a good line, like, don't ever tell me to stop being a mom. Like, I'm a mom. I'm always going to be a mom. She's like, I get to be his mom no matter how old he fucking is.
Even though she wasn't was she?
She was still in his life.
Okay.
He was seeing her every weekend.
Okay.
And then she would come visit him all the time. And, he was just living with his dad now. At first, he was living with his mom, seeing his dad on weekends.
Okay, that makes sense then. Then I very much see it from her perspective.
Yeah.
She's like, oh my God, get him out of here.
Yeah.
Get him out of this.
I have money now. But, it's also, I see it from his perspective, like, I live here now, Mom. These are all my friends are. That's where I go to school. And,
it's hard to just move like that.
It really is.
Mm-hmm. And West Hollywood is very different than South Central.
I'd imagine.
Culturally, it's on two different worlds almost.
So that's what's going on between them. Mm-hmm. So they show the next thing they show like Doughboy, he's hanging out like on the porch like with all his like boys, like just they're just talking, and then those Bloods kind of pull up in that car, that red car from me, they pull up and they just kind of look at him and they just have a stare down little match with Doughboy for a little while, and then they speed off, and then Doughboy's like, man, them niggas ain't finna do shit. They just talking all that shit. They ain't finna do shit.
Oh,
and then,
he's about to get fucked up.
Bro, and then they go in the house and you see Ricky. He's watching football, right? He's watching football, and then his girl's like, hey, Ricky, can you go to the store? He's like, yeah, I'll go to the store. And his kid doesn't really move. He keeps watching football. And then a commercial comes on for the Army. Like, you should join the Army if you don't know what to do with your life, and you're a black man who doesn't know what to do after football. It's like literally saying everything he needs to hear, right? And so he's like, he looks at it, and he's watching. You can tell he's like getting interested. And then finally his mom comes out and like, boy, go to the store. Your girlfriend keeps yelling to go to the store. Go to the store. And so he goes out, and he sees Doughboy outside, right? And Trey is walking across the street. Trey's coming up now.
Right.
And they're all, and Doughboy and all his like crew, his boys are out there. And he goes, hey, Doughboy, can you go to the store and get some cornmeal for my girl? And he's like, nigga, she asked you. She ain't asked me. He's like, fuck you, right? And then Doughboy kind of looks at him and was like, nigga, you soft. And he pushes him. He's like, yo, what's your problem? He's like, nigga, you soft. And he gets one of his boys to hold his gun. And he just punches him. Just like on some brother shit, but it's like hardcore.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Like he's trying to teach him a lesson, but
it's
also
like, Jesus
it's
Christ.
Relax.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the push was the lesson.
Enough. You don't have to punch him in his goddamn teeth.
Right.
So he punches him and then kind of holds him down. Just you can tell, just knows how to fight. And then the mom character comes out and is like, get off of him, get off of him. And she grabs the ice cream character and then she slaps him as hard as she can, like slaps him. He's like, what the fuck you hit me for? We're fighting. Why'd you hit just me? And then she's like, Ricky, are you okay? Are you okay? And he's like, get off me, I'm fine. And then he walks away. And then right when that happens, the mailman comes up, and then she hands him the thing, and she goes, Ricky, your test scores. Ricky, your SAT scores came in.
She turns into a newsie.
Yeah, he literally just like, your test scores,
extra.
Ricky, your test scores. And then he walks off, and then Trey runs after him, right? And he's looking at his mom. He's like, why'd you hit me? We're fighting, you just hit me. And then she walks off.
Right.
So now they're showing Trey.
My God, he has no familial love. That's crazy. It's just his brother.
Just his brother.
His mom doesn't love him at all.
Yeah. So, and he's been in and out the pen his whole life. And
he's done.
And he's a 17-year-old kid. I mean, you know what I mean? Yeah, he's done. It's over. And he's already back selling drugs and killing people and kicking niggas' asses. He don't give a fuck.
It's done.
He doesn't give a fuck. He also doesn't care.
Right, but if I were him, I wouldn't either. Because
it's none of it's real. Nothing matters.
Nobody's cared about me. Why would the fuck would I care about anything?
Fuck everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So the Ricky and the Trey character, they go off to the store to get whatever, right? And as they're off, they're talking about going to the Army because the Ricky guy's like, I'm gonna go to the Army. I'm not gonna, I know I didn't pass the test. I'm not gonna get into USC. I'm just gonna go to the Army and have a better life. I don't, And the Trey character's obviously like, no, why would you do that? You're gonna be fine. You're gonna get into USC. Like, what are you talking about? And don't go into the Army regardless. We'll figure it out. But you don't need to go in the Army to figure this out. And they're arguing back and forth about it. And he's like, the black man ain't got no place for the Army. And he's like, well, you don't know. They're arguing. And then it kind of ends with them going into the store.
Right.
Right? They go into the store.
All right. So he's like, he doesn't think he's going to make USC at all. So he hasn't looked at his test scores.
No, he didn't. When she was yelling at him to look at his test scores, he walked away. He didn't want to look at him.
Oh, God. He's going to die with those, like, passing test scores in his pocket. That's how it feels like.
So Ricky's girl, so they leave. Like, they leave the store. They go in the store. They leave in the store. He's got, like, lotto tickets. He's scratching lotto tickets, and he's drinking milk, Ricky. And the Trey kid, they're just talking. And they're kind of talking back and forth about nothing. And then you see the red car pull up slowly.
Right? To the store.
Right. Well, no, they're walking out of the store.
Yeah.
And you see the red car pull up, like, outside on the street, like, right? And then Trey kind of notices it first. And he goes, hey, hold on. He's like, I see the car. And they're like, oh, what do you want to do? He's like, when I say cut, we're going to cut. And then the car speeds up at him, and he's like, cut! And they break off running.
Right.
They break off sprinting, they hop a fence, and then you see they cut, like they show back inside the Blood's car, and he's like, let's cut him off around the block. Cut him off the block. So you see them cut around the block, and then you see, as they're cutting around the block, you see Doughboy, he sees the car cut around the block and fly, right?
Right.
And then he's like, oh, them niggas, and then his friends like, oh, them niggas are showing out again, and then it hits Doughboy like, Ricky, and he runs into their house and he grabs his gun and he's like, let's go, because he knows what's going on. He's like, oh shit, they got him cornered.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so now they're like, oh shit, and then the friend in the wheelchair, he's fucking booking it down the block to like try and like get to him. You know what I mean? To let him know. And then Doughboy and his friends, they hop in the car. So now the Trey and Ricky character are like, they think they got away. They hop the fence. Right. They think they got away. They're standing there, and then they're like, hey, what should we do? And then the Ricky character's like, I gotta piss. And he's like, what? He's like, I gotta piss. So the Ricky character stops to take a piss.
What?
Always. He's like, I got to piss. I got to. Man, I've been having to piss this whole time. And you get nervous. I get it, though, because you get nervous, and that's what I'm going to either piss myself or piss right now.
Right.
And so he pisses, so that amount of time happens. And then when he comes back from prison, he's like, hey, I think we should separate. And then the Trey character's like, no, I don't know if we should separate, man. I don't think that's a good idea. He's like, if they separate, he's like, I don't think it's a good idea. He's like, what if they want to fight us? And he's like, man, them niggas ain't gonna do shit. Don't worry about it, man. I probably will separate and we'll meet back at the house. And the Trey character's like, okay. So they both start walking in opposite directions in slow motion, right? Start walking in opposite directions. So this is if any black person listens to this podcast, they know exactly what's about to happen. They're already screaming the line. So Trey's walking, right, and you see they show the Ricky character and they're playing that slow music in slow mo.
God, he has. I bet
he's scratching the lotto tickets as he's walking, not looking up.
Yeah.
And then you see they show the Trey character again as he's walking, and he turns around to look at Ricky one more time, and then you see his face light up, and he goes, Ricky! And then no sound. All the sound in the movie stops. It's quiet, and you see the Ricky character look up. He notices the red car. The shotgun comes out the window. You know, he turns around, starts running, starts sprinting. He drops the milk and the lotto tickets. He's sprinting in slow motion. And then you hear one, hits him right in the leg. And he raises up like, ah. And then you hear that second one, right through the chest. Just vicious, huge shotgun. Right through his chest, blows through his chest. And then he's done. He's dead. You see Trey running back at him. The car skirts off. You see Trey running back, and he's screaming, Ricky! Like the sound comes back in, and as Ricky's just dying in his arms, and then he just kind of dies, and then he's just holding him, screaming, Ricky! Ricky! And then right as that happened, Doughboy pulls up. And then Doughboy pulls up. He has his gun in his hand. He drops it. No emotion. No tears, no nothing.
He's dead.
Dead.
The only person who's cared about him his entire life is just got shot.
Gone. And so he's just fucking no emotion in his eyes.
Goosebumps right now.
Oh yeah, dude. Nuts. Wait till you see this movie. This is when I came out. This is when the scene. Yeah. Just so you know what scene it was. Like, when are you going? This scene. Me and Sam were just like, you know.
This is when you yelled at me.
Yeah. Fuck, because it's just a lot in the morning, man. It's just a lot, dog.
Yeah.
So you know, he comes. The Doughboy character walks up to him. The Trey guy character, and he's like, you know, because he's crying. He's like, what do we do? And he's like, just put him in the car. Let's take him. Because they know good. Like, if we call the ambulance, they're not going to come for him. So,
right.
You know.
So you got to take him
in the car. So they put him in the car, and they take him to his house. So they lift him, and then they're running him in the house, and then you hear Doughboy going like, Mama! Mama! Mom! And then he comes in the house, and then of course, like the girlfriend walks out with the baby. Yeah. And she just immediately he's laid out dead, completely all bloodied all over the couch, just like this. And then the girlfriend sees him first and just starts screaming. Doesn't drop the baby. Very impressed. Doesn't drop the baby. Just starts and just runs up and just hugging him, screaming. The baby starts crying immediately. And then the mom comes out and she's like doing her hair, and she's like, "What are y'all yelling about? Why y'all yelling in my house?" And then she sees it and she just like, no. She doesn't even. She's like, no. Very powerful, dog. Because she doesn't scream. She's like, no, that's not, no. She runs up, she's like, no, Ricky, no. Like, and then it starts hitting her, and she starts screaming, right? And then the Doughboy character starts trying to console her, because the Cuba Gooding character is just crying. He's just standing there and still just crying.
He can't deal with it.
The Doughboy character, still not shed a tear, dog. He's just like, Mama, come here. I got you, Mama. You know, trying to get like some love for her, right?
Right.
And then she turns around and just starts beating him. You did this.
Yeah, she blames him.
You did this. You did it. And he's like, Mama, I didn't do it. I swear to God. Mama, you know I didn't do it. I know it's your fault. I know it. I fucking hate you. I'm going to kill you. And she starts trying to kill him.
Really?
Yeah. And then the Cuba Gooding character has to pull her off because he's trying to kill. Like, he's not hitting her. He's just like, Mama, you know I didn't do this. You know what I mean? And it's fucking fucks you up, man.
I feel this in my heart right now.
Dude, she's screaming. The baby's still screaming. He's just trying, and then the Ice Cube character tries
the baby's crying through all
the
this.
Ice Cube character's trying to grab the baby, and then she's like, don't you touch that baby. He's like, look, give me the nephew, give my nephew. Don't you touch him. You'll never fucking touch him. This is your fault. And they're both screaming at it's his fault. And then he just goes outside. He just leaves.
Right.
And then the Cuba Gooding character, he walks out, and he whispers into him, because the Ice Cube character is just, you can just see, he's
gone. Done.
This is it. That was it. Now he's completely, he was already gone.
Right.
He was already a lost cause. Now it's like, well, I'll kill everybody. I'll kill it. I don't give a fuck. So the Cuba Gooding whispers in his ear, the Trey character, he's like, meet me at my house in 5 minutes. And Doughboy looks at him and just gives him yep, we're going hunt. You know what I mean? Like, I know what's up.
Right.
So Now Cuba Gooding character, he's walking, he's wiping the tears off his face. He's walking off, she's mad. His girl comes up and she's hugging him and she's like, "What's going on? Why are you bloody? What happened to Ricky?" And then she's like, "Get the fuck away from me!" And then right within the Lawrence Fishburne character, he's pulling back from the dinner with his mom,
Right.
and then he's seeing his son all bloody. He's like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And then the Nia Long, she's like, "Somebody shot Ricky. Somebody shot Ricky. I don't know where he's going. Somebody killed Ricky." And he's like, "Calm down, Brady. Calm down. Go to your house. I'm gonna handle this." And he goes. He's just like, he goes in the house and he's like, "Trey," like real calmly, and he's like, "Trey, what you doing, man? Come here." Trey, and then he comes back out and he's got his dad's big gun from the beginning of the movie. Right. And he's sitting there and he's like, "Oh, you a big man now, huh? You got a gun?"
Mm-hmm.
He starts at me like, "Oh, you a big man? You the big man with the gun now, huh? Oh, you the big man?" He's like, he's just talking all that shit. He's like,
right. He's trying to psych him out of it, almost.
Yeah, he says, and he says, it's a great line. He says, he says, "Give me the gun, Trey. I'm sorry about your friend, but give me the gun." He's like, "That's their problem. You're my problem, and I'm not losing my son to bullshit. So you give me the gun." And the Trey character starts crying. He's like, "Give me the goddamn gun, son." And he drops the gun. He's like, he goes and he hugs him. And he's like, I know this, there's a powerful scene. He's crying. And he's like, "Just go in your room, clean yourself off. And I'm going to come in and talk, right?" And then the Brandy character knocks on the door. And he goes and he opens the door for the Nia Long character. And then
what's her name?
Brandy.
Brandy,
Yeah.
okay.
And she comes in. And then so she walks in. He's like, "Go ahead. You can go see him." And she walks to the back of the room. And then he's gone. Window open. You hear Doughboy's car speed off. Yeah. So and then they show the Lawrence Fishburne character and his head just drops. Because, of course, he thinks he just won his son back.
Yeah. So now he thinks his son's going to die.
Well, obviously.
Right.
His son is now in the car. When he knows what's up, his son's now in the car looking for revenge.
Right.
Or if his son's not going to die, he's going to go to jail for life for murder.
Right.
Or something. Who knows?
Right.
So, anyway, you think it's over. You thought it was over because you think the movie's over right then.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, shit. What the fuck's going to happen?
Yeah, still going.
So now they are like, they show the Bloods. And they're hanging at a burger joint. It's nighttime.
Yeah. Do you ever find out Ricky's test score?
We'll get there.
All right.
So they show the Bloods. It's nighttime. They're hanging at the burger joint.
Wait. Go on.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
I know what he was saying. I wrote it down, buddy. So the Bloods are hanging like at a burger joint, and they're just kind of talking, chit-chatting, right? And then they show Doughboy and his boys, and they're loading up the rifles, they're loading up guns, and then the Doughboy's driving, just dead in the eyes, just death in his fucking eyes, man. Just, great. Oh my God, the acting was so good by Ice Cube, dude.
Right.
Just fucking gone. And his boys are loading.
That's what I'm excited to see.
We're going to kill these niggas, man. Oh, yeah. Ice Cube is unreal. And then you see the Trey, he's looking at him, and he's looking out his window, and he keeps looking back at him, and they keep panning back to the Lawrence Fishburne character who has the big metal stress balls in his hand,
right.
And that's the background of the whole scene. So you just hear so that as he's like looking at them loading up the gun, he's loading up the guns. You hear that, it's getting faster, and he's like deciding what he's gonna do. And then he goes, "Doe, let me out." And then Doughboy doesn't. He just kind of looks at him and he doesn't do anything. He keeps driving and he goes, "Doe, let me out, man." And then Doughboy kind of looks at him one more time and then he pulls over and he stops, lets him out, speeds off, doesn't say a word, speeds off, just fucking
right. Like, hey, you made your choice. I'm making mine.
Yeah, these niggas. You know what's up.
Yeah.
So the Trey character, he walks to a bus stop slowly. That's the end of you see him. So they pan to back at the burger joint, and the guys are about to leave. The Bloods, they're about to leave. They're like, "Oh, what are we gonna do?" And he's like, "I'm gonna go to my girl's house." They're like, "Oh, can we come?" He's like, "No, nigga, y'all niggas fine with." They're just having a regular conversation.
Right.
Like they didn't just kill somebody that morning. You know what I mean? Because that's just. Also, their life is just the same as the other motherfuckers' lives. You know what I mean? If you watch from their point of view.
It's just part of the day.
Part of the day.
You kill somebody, and then you go to the burger joint.
Yeah. So they're at the burger joint. They're talking. And then they cut back to Ice Cube and them in the car. Ice Cube doesn't say anything. And his other friends are like, "Man, I'm hungry. Can we stop and get some food, man? I'm hungry." And Ice Cube character's like, he just kind of nods. Like, all right. So they kind of roll, and then they go to the burger joint as the guys are leaving. So as the other guys are walking out, they're pulling in the burger joint. And then the one dude notices him. He's like, "There were them niggas right there. Hit the lights." And they hit the lights. And then that's when they kind of notice, the Bloods, they notice, and then they break off running. They try to run, and then they let that AK-47 just rain. Hits all three of them. Right? Shoots all three of them. Kills one, fucks up two of them.
Right.
So then they're like, "All right, drive off, drive. Doughboy stops the car, walks up slowly with the 9mm, looks at one, the one that's make sure he kicks him, make sure he's all the way dead. Mm-hmm. Goes to the other one that's like crawling. One of them's crawling.
Yeah.
Right? The one who actually pulled the trigger, the one in the shotgun, and shoots and blasts him in the back of the head. Poof. And then he goes up to the leader guy, the one who was arguing about him in the first place.
Right.
And the leader guy, and he kicks him in the back of the legs, and he's like, ah! And he's like, come on, man. And the guy rolls him. He's like, I didn't pull the trigger, man. I was just there. You know, you know how it is, nigga. I ain't pulled the trigger. Why? Come on, man. You know, he's begging for his life, and Doughboy's just looking at him like, you know, just
It's done for you.
It's done for you, but also just like, what is this, man? You could just it was just it was like a look of like, what am I? What is any of this, man? Like,
Right. It's not real.
And then he's just like, shut the fuck up, nigga. And he shot that nigga in the head. And then he kind of jogs back slowly. Because also during all this, his boys are screaming like, Doe, get in the car. Right. Doe, let's go. Doe, come on, let's go. Because you hear police coming. It's like an AK-47 just unleashed havoc at a burger joint.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. It's not. The police are going to be there.
Yeah, that one, for sure. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's 3 dead bodies, too.
Right.
So, yeah, he gets back in the car, and they drive off. And then you see, like, they pan back to the next scene. Lawrence Fishburne, he's in his room. Trey comes in the house. He's still got all the bloody clothes on. And then Lawrence Fishburne opens the door really fast, like looks at him, makes sure he's okay. Doesn't say anything. And then just closes the door. And you can tell he's like, I don't know if you kill people. I don't know.
Right. I don't know what happened. Right.
And that's just.
It's done now between you and me.
Well, I mean, not like me and you are done, but that situation.
Night.
Yeah. This night, you had to go do what you had to do.
It's done.
I'm glad you're back. Exactly.
Right.
We're not talking about it.
Yeah.
So cut to the next morning, early in the morning, like, right. So it's early in the AM, and Trey is waking up and he's stretching. And he's walking out on the porch. He sits down. He's kind of eating that like an egg McMuffin, right?
Right.
Doughboy walks out his house across the street, right? He walks out drinking a 40. It's like 6, maybe 5, 6 a.m. You can tell it's very early.
Right.
Right. He walks out drinking a 40, and a crackhead walks up to him immediately. He sells some crack, right? Right after his brother died, man. He just kills people. Just sells some crack. Just like I said, back to life. You know, just back to you know, sells some crack. He walks across the street to talk to Trey, and then he's like, you know, what's up, man? And you can tell they're both fucked up. They're both like kind of like fighting back tears, talking that kind of talking.
Right.
And it says the classic line. He's like, I was watching the news last night, man, and all they showed was foreign shit. Just kept talking about all this French shit and foreign,
right?
French architecture and foreign shit. And he was like, either they don't know, don't show, or don't care about what's going on in the hood. That's like the classic. That's like the line of the movie. That's like that's what the whole movie is based on, that line.
Right.
And then he's like, man, they showed all that fucking foreign shit. Not one thing on my brother. It's like, damn, man. That would suck. You watch the news all day, and they don't even mention
your brother. You're the star football player.
Yeah, because it's just another nigga. There's another nigga dead, right? And then he goes, man, he's like, I feel like they punched the wrong. He's like, but he's like, man, fuck, everybody's got to go sometime, huh? He drinks a thing of the 40. It's like, well, you know, like shit. He's like, next thing you know, some niggas gonna try and smoke me. He's like, but shit, it's whatever. I don't give a fuck. And then he's like, they punched the wrong clock on Rick. He was like, yeah, you know. And then he said, like he's kind of looking at him, and then he was like, man, I ain't got no brother no more. Right, just like he's just dead. Ice Cube's dead now. He just looks for him. I ain't got no brother. I ain't got no mama. You know, and nothing. And he gets up to walk off, and then the Trey character's like, "Hey, Doe, you got one brother left, man."
And my dogs.
Yeah, and then they all puppies. And yeah, like, puppies.
Yeah, these guys belong in snow, and that's how Snow Dog starts.
And then the
right?
kids from Are We There Yet show up, and they're like, "Dad!" No, and then as like he hugs him. And then he walks away, and then he says under him as he's walking back, he's like, he pours out his 40, like right, for his brother as he walks away, and then it reads under him, it says, Doughboy saw his brother buried the next day, and then he keeps walking, and then as he's walking into his house, he fades, like he just fades off like that, and then it says Doughboy was murdered 2 weeks later, and that's how the movie ends.
Like he fades?
He fades, and it says, Doughboy was murdered 2 weeks later. Well, then it ends on a happier note. And then it pans back to Trey, and then Trey says Trey went on to go to Morehouse College the next year in Atlanta. And
They're still in high school.
And then it said, and then it said, and his girlfriend Brandy went to Spelman right across the way. And then that's how the movie ends. And then it says, Boys in the Hood, increase the peace. Boys in the Hood. Woo! What'd you think, man?
Holy shit.
Yeah?
Holy shit. That's
pretty
a lot.
Fucking crazy, yeah?
That's heavy. That felt heavy. I felt a weight off my shoulder when you finished.
Yeah, that's a lot, that movie, man.
That's crazy, man. It's fucked.
It's just all fucked.
It's fucked. Everyone's just fucked. Even the guy, no gang affiliations at all. He's the one they killed.
Yep.
Just to take it out on the. That's when you were telling me that. I was like, why not just shoot up the guy that you hate? Why you gotta killing his brother? Why you guys fucking kill his brother?
It's just about killing who. It's not even about who the person is. It's just about killing. It's just like we're gonna kill.
It's about someone around them. That's like, I guess that's the big difference between like these crimes and like the mob crimes. Because mob crimes, it's very specific.
Yeah.
And this one, it's more like you took an AK-47 out of a burger joint.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was because he killed his brother, but still.
Right, but what he's saying when he's doing that is, I don't give a shit who dies there.
No.
It don't matter who dies there.
Yeah, these motherfuckers are dying. I don't give a fuck about anyone else.
Whereas other organized crimes is, we're gonna kill those people, but it's gonna be more controlled. This one was uncontrolled, just rage.
Yeah. Or even, I mean, the shotgun, fucking blasting shotguns in open neighborhoods, man. Right. You know what I mean? For what? Because a guy because you bumped into a guy. You know what I mean? Like, or just for power. Just because it's nothing to do. It's also nothing to do.
And if they're all kind of like Doughboy, it's like, what do you have to live for? Why not live like this? Because it's not, you know what I mean? If Doughboy lived for another 3 years, what's his life going to be? It's going to be more of the same.
The exact same. Killing people, selling drugs,
going to jail, selling drugs, and then eventually dying.
Eventually dying until, it was, I mean, you can hope that, because some people do turn their lives around, but, and you can hope.
Right.
But,
I mean, I'm not saying people can't turn their lives around, but it's also clear that they're not put in a position where they're able to.
Yeah, man. You're right. The whole movie was set up for, everyone to fail.
Well, you're set up. It's like, yeah, you can. It's poker. That's what I describe it as. America, really. It's like poker. It's a giant poker game. But the cards you're getting are like 2 7s constantly. You know what I mean? Like a 2 and a 7, and it's like you're fucked.
Constantly. Like every hand.
Every hand. Sometimes instead of giving you 2 cards, they just give you 1, and you're like, yeah, deal with that.
I mean, you can make something out of that 2-7. You can bluff your way to the motherfucking winning and all, but
or you can hit it.
You can kill it. But I mean, it's just like, man, it's one out of it's one out of every. It's the Trey. It's the Trey scenario. I mean,
right.
He's one kid out of every.
Well, he doesn't have a 2-7 because he's got a dad. He's got a starting hand. He's got a hand you can play with.
But look at how fucked up his life was with the dad.
Yeah, but at the same time, that's the only thing that saved him.
Yeah,
because if
I mean, also, because it could have been he went that way and the Ricky character went that way and he got shot.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the luck part.
Yeah, that's just that's the luck part.
That's the poker game.
That's the poker game of life where it was like you just happen to walk that way,
the wrong way, and he happened to take a piss. Like that piss probably fucked him.
It fucked up timing.
Right. Oh,
because they'd have been farther gone.
What did he get on the SATs?
Oh shit, you're right, 710. You find out that the mom during the scene where he's the stress balls. Right. The mom opens the test scores while she's crying, and
she starts crying more. Yeah, because he would have made a USC.
Yeah, he would have been at USC. Also, the mom had to bury 2 sons in 2 weeks. Even the one you hate still hurts. It was you raised them your whole life. You had to take care of them. There were moments of happiness with them. You know what I mean? Even if they're like a couple, there are moments where you're like, oh, this is a good kid. So that's another son that's dead. Even though you're like, oh, I mean, it's just, oh my god. Yeah,
it's not a fun Madea movie.
No, this is Madea has the worst 2 weeks of all time. Yeah. Madea's worst 2 weeks of her life.
Madea buries her kids, man. That's a tough Tyler Perry movie.
Part 3.
God, it would be like that.
The first one made money.
Yeah, my God. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so have fun watching this movie coming up pretty soon, buddy.
I'm not looking forward to it.
It's a powerful one.
Yeah.
John Singleton, shout out to you, dog. And shout out to James Cameron again.
Good job, James. Titanic was great.
Titanic was great. We're just going to keep giving you shouts out every time I can. I just think you're a good guy. Can't wait for Avatar 2, buddy. Boys in the Hood, bro.
All right.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch it.